Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the UKEL Week 6 of the Summer Split 2020. I'm Will White from Whittingham. I'm joined by Harry Dr. Evans, and we've got two cracking matches to start you off today on this fine week number 6. Everything to play for all the teams, but a lot to play for these two teams. We've got London United coming up against Mythos. This is 3rd v 4th, and the winner of this game is going to be top 4 playoff position going into the final week.
Yeah, I think that actually the winner of this could well be guaranteed playoffs, depending on how this one pans out, because they'll have the tiebreaker over the other next best team, which will be the loser of this game, right? So unless there's some tiebreaker shenanigans and Viperio and Revenge both go 2-0, and Revenge aren't winning today, so that's fine. Then they might. I'm pretty confident that whoever wins. I'll check the tiebreaks now, but I'm pretty confident that whoever wins this is locked in first. Locked in playoffs. Locked in playoffs, not quite.
That might be coming later. A bit of a teaser towards our next match. But of course, these two teams, Mythos and London United, both teams that at the start of the split, a lot of people were saying maybe not looking for the most exciting stuff for them. Both look like solid lineups, of course. Mythos lineup coming from a group of players who have played together a lot in amateur leagues across Europe, basically, and have a lot of experience there, going well back. And we've got the London United roster coming out of the Newell, a lot of student players who have played together for a long time. So two teams that have really come out and shown that they're more than the sum of their parts, and that these two cohesive units, more so than maybe any other team we've got in the league, have stepped up to be in the running for playoffs at this late stage. And we are now into picks and bans. Mythos is on the blue side with London United on the red.
All right, there's no two ways about this. I forgot to close my windows, and I apologize for the horde of seagulls you just heard. So this is not clean at all. But
professionalism is what we strive for at the UK. Volleyball, first one off the table.
There we are.
Pretty standard ban at this stage.
Yeah, Volleyball, that's a disgusting champion. We keep that one out of our games. Also, just looked it up, and London and Mythos actually are both 1-1 versus Revenge and Viperio. And so if London win this, then they kind of have to hope that Revenge... if London win this one, then they have to hope that Revenge lose... that Viperio lose a game in the next 2 weeks, and the opposite is true for Mythos.
Thank you very much, Statsman. Appreciate that. But with Lulu and Karma off the table as well, Karma's pretty standard. Lulu, also not to be completely unexpected as a ban with Aphelios as well. Doesn't look like there's too much targeting going on, just very standard meta picks being taken off the table.
Yeah, get these just out. Again, a lot of flex coming across the board here. Karma is a pretty disgusting champion right now in the current meta. She's real strong in basically every bot lane matchup and is flexible as well, so keep that one out.
No point in letting it through. Even though you've got first pick, maybe you want to be putting that somewhere else, and with the Graves off the table as well, just making sure that Mao won't get his hands on that one. And Draven actually going to be the last one taken off the table, Uzi Mode. Not going to be able to secure that aggressive pickup.
Yeah, now do we know, is Uzi Mode actually RT? Is it a name change, or is it...
It's not RT, because RT is their mid.
Different person. Not RT. I forget who their AD is. A very similar name. Oh, Arson, yeah.
I believe Uzi Mode is Arson. Is it not?
It's not Arson. We got that one.
So this is a substitute coming in to the bot lane.
And that is a Karthus first pick.
Oh, that is an interesting... What do you make of that as a priority first pick on blue side?
He's coming back into the meta a little bit right now with the buffs that he did receive on the latest patch, of course, and it's actually a little bit flexible. People are playing him back in the lanes, although he is still doing fine in jungle, so this could be a mid lane Karthus. It could even be bot lane. A fair few people have been taking him down there, and he's been having great success in that Kai role, so it is a nice first pick flex there from Mythos.
Misfortune will be the response to it. An aggressive bot laner can see the jungle or support probably being locked in alongside. When you've seen enough champ select, you know that things tend to go in the kind of same order. And Leona, another pretty aggressive support pickup to go into that bot side. We're looking to pile on pressure if it does end up Karthus being down there.
Yeah, if it's a Karthus down bot, then you can just gauge onto him pretty easily, and there is still a bit of opportunity here, though. There's a couple of counters. We think about how the Jarvan's going to interact here, right? Because Jarvan is definitely what you want in a Misfortune and Leona, but you could take that away if you're Croatian jungle here, and then you send the Karthus into the mid lane. Again, this is a very flexible pick here, because you do now run the risk of that one being locked in for Misfortune, for Leona, and even though Karthus has his E and has his passive, he's still going to get dunked and go down pretty quickly. So maybe we see something like a Thresh picked up early on here to be able to counter that one a little bit. And this is not actually a Skarner, it is a Morgana. A lot of proxy picks coming through this one.
Pretty sad that's not a scan, to be fair. Due to be getting some buffs pretty soon, so maybe he'll scale back onto the Rift toward the World's play. But there's the Jarvan being locked in, so that's going to be going into the jungle. Confirms that Karthus won't be going there unless we see some old styly Jarvan top. We've seen it in the past, but some questions need to be asked about this Mythos roster, not in terms of the quality of the draft, but where these champions are going to be going, because it's not set in stone just yet.
I'll say the thing that I don't really like too much about the Jarvan here is that you don't have the Thresh that I was talking about before, because you now have two very immobile champions in the Morgana and the whatchamacallit, whatever Teemo is, Karthus. And these are people that cannot follow up the Jarvan when he goes in, and they can't get out of the Jarvan either. So the Jarvan here has been taken away, it's denied from the Misfortune Leona, but there are other picks that can fill a similar enough role to the Jarvan, whereas you look at the Jarvan for the side of Mythos, and it doesn't actually do a lot because it doesn't work so far with the champions that they've currently picked up. So now they're going to put themselves in a situation where they've either got to pick things that work with the Jarvan and don't work with the alleged Skarner and Teemo, or they pick things that do work with the Jarvan, and then it's not possible for the Karthus and the Morgana to be following up, and it's a bit of a sticky situation.
Still a couple of picks to try and grab some champions that will be able to do that following up into the Jarvan Ultimate. Lee Sin was locked in by London United as their jungle pick. That will be going into the hands of Mauer as we move into the second round of bans with Kiana and Orianna both taken off the table. Kiana, quite an interesting ban.
Yeah, Kiana's been coming back just a little bit, even in the top lane as well. Not really too sure what's inspired that one. The Orianna ban, though, makes a lot more sense. Very blind pickable. Articuno known for playing the control mages as well, and it combos nicely with Leona Misfortune, so take that one off the table.
Well, Artie is known for being a really good assassin player, so Kiana probably a champion that he's got a fair few hours on. Of course, with the Jarvan, you can create that big old stun ring in the middle of a team fight, so probably some synergies and some player decisions went into the banning of that one with Fiora off the table as well. Don't want to be seeing Joki Booster on that one. And going to be going on towards the final ban of the match so far. It's going to be the Ornn being taken off the table. Victoria not going to be able to be on tank duty, at least on that champion.
Yeah, and it's interesting that so many bans are thrown up to potential top lane. I say so many, it's just two with the Kiana and the Fiora there, because you're playing red side, right, if you're London, so they can get the counter pick up against Duoku Booster if they want it. And the fact they're banning out here makes me think maybe they don't. Maybe they want to look for something like a Mordekaiser, just blind pick it here, but that could be a little bit dangerous. So they instead end up going for the Wukong. And this is not particularly now that we've got the sort of bot lane locked in, so it's not going to be Senna and it's not going to be Lee Sin. But what I'm thinking here is that you've got a 4 AD comp coming through from the side of London. And if you are willing to send the Karthus bot, you can blind Kassadin and be pretty confident that you've got yourself a really good situation here, because you're either versus a mage mid, because they need AP from somewhere, and the Kassadin's worked out pretty well, or you're versus 5 AD, and then it doesn't matter how much the Kassadin gets railed, because you're just going to be able to build 5 armor items. And something like that, right? That there has to be some sort of pick here that's going to be able to counter the fact that you have to lock in a mage mid lane if you're London, because they've backed themselves into a bit of a corner here.
Just running down the clock, seeing what they're going to be decided for. Have already locked in the Jax, and the Echo is going to be the final lock-in as well. So that's probably going to be going into that mid lane, which does kind of confirm that the Karthus will be playing down bot.
Oh yeah, they've already got a Jarvan. I was like, oh.
I was going to say, was there some...
I was like, oh, big jungle flexes from both of them, but yeah, Jarvan's already been locked in. And yeah, now Heathen's actually the one hovering the cast, and he knows what's up, but I think versus the Echo, that's a pretty decent enough matchup. But yeah, there it is, Articuno, obviously playing Articuno.
No!
Oh, no, he's not!
Ooh. Just teasing us. This is why we don't talk about hovers, because whenever we do, we get
Okay. So now we have a similar situation with the Jarvan, right? That the Kassadin's very nice for this lane matchup, but it also doesn't really kind of want to go in. You think that the Misfortune wants to fight on one item, Leona wants to be fighting on one item. You get these big early spikes, and Kassadin's just vibing till he hits level 16. Now, he's going to have a fine time in lane, but there could be a little bit of discourse as we go on into those team fights where Kassadin's sitting on, tier in a 0-stack rower, Misfortune's got an Essence Reaver, and then Kassadin gets one-banged. And think, hang on, we were supposed to win this early fight when we picked Misfortune Leona. But if Articuno is allowed to scale and just chill in the mid lane events later on in the side lanes versus the Echo, it's probably going to have a pretty good time.
And does the Echo have the ability to put loads of pressure onto Articuno? I know you said that he had a pretty decent time on the Kassadin. is there a world where Echo could win in that 1v1, or does he need jungle attention?
Yeah, it's not too much a winnable in the 1v1 sense, but Echo does have significantly better wave clear, especially early on. And so it's something to keep in mind that as always, when you're playing with a Kassadin mid, your jungle is a 1v2 situation for Mauer here. So we'll have to keep that in mind if that's something that Croatian and Artsuka can sort of use to their advantage, that if you leave the Echo alone in mid lane, he's just going to get outscaled and he's going to get beat down if ever he tries to take a trade onto Articuno. Because you think if ever the Echo tries to E onto the Kassadin, this is perfect for the Kassadin, who can then immediately beat him down, throw all 3 spells on him, and then watch the Echo take minion damage as he runs out, right? So it's very hard for Artie to be able to trade onto the Kassadin, but he can still outpush it and look for prio in that regard.
Yeah, it may be moving to other lanes or trying to get into that jungle. The only name we haven't talked about too much in terms of the matchup is this top side with Sujin versus Victorio. Jackson to Wukong, how's that looking?
I would assume that Jax has the advantage here, right? I think Durku Booster is known for playing these kinds of champions as well, and I think that he chose this into the Wukong. You think that Wukong goes in, tries to do all sorts of beatdowns with his clone, and the amount of autos that are coming out from there, that's just free dodges coming through from the Jax, right? So assumed that it goes in the favor of the Jax, but I haven't actually seen the matchup before. What I'm a little more interested in is that we now have this triple AP on the bot side of the map, and you think that if anyone picks up double magic resist shards or something on bot lane, or if, think about the power of something like an adaptive helm in this game, like early Hex Drinker coming through from Mauer, or maybe even from Kumkum. It's so hard for the Karthus and for the Morgana to be able to do anything. And again, Jarvan comes into gank bot, he EQs, flashes, ults, Karthus and Morgana are 3 screens away. They're not actually able to follow up on him too much. So again, Arcee can move with the Jarvan when he's got that prio, when he can push out mid, but Jarvan loves himself a good team fight. Jax doesn't want to be at those. Echo probably wants to be splitting in the 1-3-1 as well, and Karthus and Morg can't follow up on it. So when we look at these comps sort of from a holistic point of view, yes, we've got some very nice lanes. Morgana does counter Leona. Jax probably counters the Wukong, I would assume. And the Jarvan was picked away from Misfortune Leona. But when you look at it as a 5, there seems to be a lot of holes starting to crop up for Mythos.
The jungle pickup is certainly something that doesn't necessarily synergize too well with the bot lane selection, but in the earlier stages, when Ventum, Creation Jungler, is looking to move around the map, get those early ganks off, Jackson Echo should have a pretty decent time following up.
Yeah, I don't hate the Jarvan pick so much. It's just when it was paired with the Morgana. So like, if you paired it with the Thresh, now you have Thresh can bring in the Karthus into the fight. He can actually go with the Jarvan and follow it up as well. He can get the Jarvan out if the Jarvan goes too far. It's a lot more flexible. But when you put it with Morgana, it's like, and the Thresh countering the Leona as well, it's a very similar matchup and can lock people down sort of to a similar extent as the Morgana to chain onto Karthus Qs onto them. So again, I feel like there's just a little area for improvement. But we look over at London, and you can actually see that this comp does sort of work together holistically because they have this mega wombo, but they then have the Caston coming in on R5 here. And again, Caston does have the advantage in that sort of 1v1, and especially when we look towards the 1-3-1 later on, he's going to work as a very nice insurance policy. You have a very early game loaded team comp, but you still have that chance that you can say, well, look, Caston's going to hit level 16. He's going to scale eventually if you are not able to close it out early. Could splitting the difference be a little bit dangerous? Maybe, but overall, I still favor London.
Both teams pretty aggressive jungle pickups. As you say, London do have that insurance option. It's not like Mythos do not have that, though. You've got Jax, you've got Echo, you've got Karthus. Yeah. These are champions that still do very well going into those later stages, but how well do they do? They don't do very much damage when they're dead. Obviously, Karthus does. But Jax and Echo significantly less so able to do damage when they are taken out of the fight. And Articuno, you've got to imagine, will be able to burst people pretty effectively come level 16. But who did you predict to win this game, Doctor? And has the draft changed your mind?
I predicted Mythos. And if I did predict Mythos, then yeah, the draft has changed my mind. One thing I will say about, you said, Jax, Echo, and Karthus are all scaling. Don't forget, Adaptive Helm exists. Kind of ruins Karthus. Kind of... definitely ruins Karthus. Pretty good versus Echo. It's better than you'd think against Jax as well because of his W and his ultimate doing magic damage. And I did predict Mythos, so that's a bit unlucky, isn't it?
I mean, it's unlucky if they turn out to lose this game.
Looking at the wrong tweet.
Good. Glad to hear it. For me, you know what? I bet London. Yeah. I'm pretty confident with that, hopefully. There's a part of me, there's a deep part of me that makes me predict weird teams to win in predictions. is also telling me that I don't know if this Lee Sin pickup's going to work. I don't know why, but I can see Mauer being pretty anonymous this game. And it's not because of the player, it's not because of the champion, it's just kind of something doesn't sit right with me. And I don't know what it is. We'll have to discover how I've got the sixth sense.
It's the 2v2 is what it is. It's your mid lane 2v2. It's that Lee Sin needs a strong early game, and Caston is not going to provide that for him. Likewise, Wukong is going to take a little bit of time to get going. So yeah, Lee can come down bot side, but he's very limited, and he only has that one place that he can go. And with RC pushing in Articuno 24/7, there is a lot of potential to be able to negate him and take him out of that early game. And then as we move on, the Jarvan is going to slightly outscale the Lee Sin, and that's really all you need. You know, you don't have to have the Caston equivalent in the jungle to be able to outscale someone like a Lee Sin. You just have to have something that will be a bit more useful than him come the 20-30 minute marks.
So what you're saying is that I'm not crazy. I'm actually just top-level analyst.
Yeah, no, your big brain. Yeah, your brain is too big
for my little head. Even though
excellent.
Some would say that it's the opposite way around, and my head is massive, my brain is tiny. But we're loading in now, ladies and gentlemen. Going to be going pretty quickly into this one. You've got to hope. Mythos versus London United. This is a really, really important matchup. This is the most important matchup either of these teams has played so far, because it's so late on. These teams are currently tied in playoff positions. Winner of this game is guaranteed to be in a playoff position come next week, come the final week of play. And of course, after that week is when it matters if you're in playoffs or not. The other team is going to have to duke it out really, really hard in the final week of play, and could even end today not in the playoff spot if other results don't go their way. So this one is super, super crucial. Weirdly, it might not be the most important match we have today, but this one definitely going to be interesting. Both of these teams are going to be up for the fight, and going to be making sure that we're all synced up, paused at 10, ready for you lovely people to observe the League of Legends. But yeah, Doctor, so, okay, one final question. This is the classic that I'm going to ask you. I haven't asked you this for a long time, actually. Where is the first big play going to be on the map? Where's First Blood going to take place?
Level 1 invade.
Okay, good. Who's going to get it?
I would not put it past them.
Which
if not
team?
that,
I'm not going to say which player, but which team is going to get it?
That's a good question, because there is a chance they just 5-man into each other. Probably Mythos, but I think it just depends on who has the element of surprise, right? Whoever goes slower, but here's the thing, whoever runs in is probably the one that's going to lose it. So I think that whichever team is a bit more patient, I think probably has the advantage there, but also kind of Mythos, I guess.
Oh, you know, I'm going to be really disappointed if they both go for lines of scrimmage now, is all I'm saying. So hopefully we'll be getting big fat invades, but either way, we're going to be getting a really good game of League of Legends. Ladies and gentlemen, we're into the UKEL Week 6. On the blue side, we do have Mythos, Jyoku Booster, Creation Jungler, the artist previously known as Ventum, Artsuka, Uzi Mode, and Aftermath. And on the red side, we have London United, Victoria, Mauer, Articuno, Kum, and the Heathen.
All right, well, looks like there's no level 1 shenanigans coming out here.
You baited me.
Just a standard board 5-man, a little bit. Case probably bot lane, but honestly, I could see something just casual solo kill going on top side. We might even see some early gank. I think that there's a decent chance that if Mauer looks for something like a level 2 gank on top, because like who's going to expect that, right? And although to be fair, if he does that, Artie probably just hard pushes in mid, and then that's his blue buff gone. And maybe we get some vertical jungling going in that situation. And you don't really want that if you don't want Mauer having to play to a top side here, if you do end up with some sort of situation like that. So maybe we're not going to see those particularly aggressive early moves.
What's it like ganking Karthus Morgana? Because a lot of people at home, obviously, a lot of talented players will be watching this, but a lot of people like me will also be watching this. What's it going to be like ganking into a Karthus Morgana? Because they're both quite immobile, but they've both got some CC.
Yeah, I mean, if you're someone who's not Lee Sin, it's a little bit easier because you can sort of split the difference. And his thing is that Aftermath can only really stun one person, right? Or he can only black shield one person, I mean, which means that you can split the difference if you come in with, oh my good lord, he's looking for it. But yeah, if you have someone who's a little bit more CC to the table, doesn't get the black shield. With the Lee Sin, yeah, it does get a little bit harder because you can only really engage onto one person as a Leona.
So, Could be interesting to see if Mauer decides to take that risk and take that chance down bot side, or if he's going to be looking elsewhere for these aggressive plays. You see junglers are on different sides of the map right now. Both of them have got their double buffs. Jarvan on the top side, Lee Sin on the bot side, and Mythos getting pushes across the board really at this stage.
Yeah, and that is to be expected, and we even see the Carthus Morgana moving on up into that bottom half of the map, trying to do a little bit of threatening of their own there, and Mauer will have to back off, having been spotted out over there. Meanwhile, Croatian doing a bit of a standard buff Gromp path, but with no gank opportunities. He's going to go for those wolves, and then, yeah, we see it right here, moving on into the jungle. When he has that Echo mid. Worth noting that RT actually has the wave pushing back towards him right now. So not actually too much in a position to be able to move. It's a pretty short distance to go, so he's not going to be punished that much, as Lee Sin is spotted out, hitting over that blue cone.
Now going to be looking to trade scuttles. Both jungler will get one, so nice equitable game we've had so far in the jungle. Articuno and Artie going at each other. Echo does have the level advantage, but Artie... Kuno, I should say. I can't call either of them Artie because they're both Arties in their own right. Caston's not going to have the best time, as you said.
Artori's in this game.
Jarvan in the wings. Maybe looking to see if Caston goes aggressive, looking to see if Lee Sin does decide to show up, but in the end, Lee Sin's quite happy to be doing the Raptors and will be able to move away. Jarvan now going up towards Krugs as well. So it's actually been really, really quiet from these two junglers. And with Jarvan versus Lee Sin, you expect early action.
Yeah, well, Lee Sin is moving down.
Well, speaking of early action, Mauer is in the wings. Myth Aftermath does manage to get the cleanse down, and Exhaust comes through as well. Here comes the teleport. This is going to be a proper right fight, but Uzi Mode is going to go down for first blood, but he's still going to be able to do damage because he's Carthus. The RTs go up against each other, and it's going to be the Echo who wins it for Mythos. Now Kunkum looking to escape from Juka, Booster. The stun comes down from Leona. Mauer jumps in for the shield, and will be able to secure the kill. Now the teleport's coming through from London United, and they're looking to rout the last member of Mythos in this area. Echo's nowhere near. We haven't got Jarvan anywhere near either, and it's going to be the kill going over on to London for their third of the game. If Victoria can secure this one, you've got to imagine one more attack will be enough as he secures the kill onto the support. Excellent play there from London United as they take the advantage.
Yeah, they get a lovely fight going on there, and you can see that there's a lot of hesitation from Heathen there, because the other option when you only have one source of CC is you go on one person as the Leona with your E, and then you see who she black shields, and then you just go and try to stun the other one. Didn't quite manage to pull it off this time around, but you see the idea was there. What I'm really curious about is just what happened in the mid lane, because Articuno actually cancelled Artisuka's TP, and then ended up dying during that. You think the casting Q cancels the teleport, so 100% sure how he ended up going down there, but we see he is losing out on these trades pretty hard now after that.
Wasn't having the best time in the trades before, but was holding his own. And now, with that kill gold going into Echo's pocket, it's going to be having an even worse time. Mythos might have lost out on the fight, but they are moving towards the dragon, have got it down pretty low, and with resets coming through from members of London United, this should be a pretty simple take for them. So maybe a consolation prize of sorts, grabbing up the Ocean Drake. We're going to have Cloud next on the menu.
Yeah, we see now that Mauer is moving to the top side of the map, and that is a pretty hefty wave being pushed in by Victoria, and he's now suddenly started to speed up the push, which could indicate a dive coming through from Mauer, but it looks like Artsuka and Duoki Booster were a little bit aware of that one, and nice shadow from the Echo there does dissuade any of the sorts. Mauer is able to take away a Gromp at least for his troubles.
Caston now up to level 6, Echo level 6 as well. Makes mid lane significantly harder to gank from both teams, of course, because the ultimates are both going to be able to get people out. Victoria does need to be a little bit careful. Top lane has been pretty aggressive against each other, but it is the Jax who's been favoured in terms of the farm so far. Two mid laners once again beefing it out, but Caston maybe just needs to hold back a little bit just to farm up and get himself into the game. Mauer in the wings in top side. Victoria needs to be careful, but doesn't look like Suchin's going for it.
Oh, we got very pranked there, but yeah, Duoki, maybe he knows something's up here. And to look at those mid lane trades again in a second, do you think these should actually be very favoured for the Kassadin? Because if the Echo ever wants to go in and actually proc his passive, again, he's throwing himself on top of the Kassadin, who also has fleet footwork, right, to even extend those trades out a little bit more. Now, maybe the sustain that offers isn't enough to counter the Electrocute, and Articuno could have gone for something like Electrocute himself, but you'd think that Articuno should be winning these, but actually when we look at it, he's using his Q a little bit more for harass, and when he does that, he loses out on the shield, which means it's easy for Artsuka to then go in for the trades onto him. And you think that maybe that could actually be why he's getting these advantageous trades as the Echo. Because these... Oh, hang on, what's going on up here?
Well, okay, a bit of engaging on the bot side, but nothing too exciting, and it looks like the junglers are actually going to be fighting against each other. Mauer and Creation Jungler fails the flag drag. Mauer jumps forward, trying to get the damage down. Red buff is burning, and we'll be able to help him secure the 1v1 kill deep behind enemy lines. Articuno has to jump away. The London pick themselves up another kill.
You well and truly do hate to see that if you're a London fan, or a Mythos fan. If you're a London fan, you're pretty happy about that one, as Mauer is able to pick up that kill, and right in time for the Herald to spawn as well. You might want to look for that. Although we can see that bottom lane has been swapped up from Mythos to maybe try and contest this one a little bit, as we see that Kumkum and the Heathen are staying down in the bottom lane to grab themselves some plates, so they are in no state to be able to fight for this Herald, and maybe this could be a bit of a swing point for Mythos if they're able to rapidly take that objective.
Bot lane had quite a few minutes after that first big play down here, and Joker Booster wants to change that. Going on to Kuken, Cleanse is used. Ultimate coming down from the Carp is looking to get damage down, but won't be enough to secure the kill just yet, as Zujin will fall. The Heathen cleaves him down with one last strike, as Kuken manages to survive. London United, they're getting incremental advantages every time they fight, and it's starting to show in the gold leads.
But why is Duoku Booster trying to fight? That's a 1v2 whilst this team does Rift Herald. This seems pretty free. Like, it was... You could see the attempt, but also the Heathen is clearly very competent on this Leona here, because he sits there and just waits for the counter-strike to be used, doesn't waste his Q, as now Mauer
steps into the root and gets deleted. And now we've got members of Mythos moving up to the top side. Rift Herald is there in the pocket of the Java, and he might look to dive onto Victorio. Damage coming down, ultimate comes through. Victoria might be able to find his way out of this one, but the ultimate, the Cataclysm will come down. No flash available for the Wiggle. Actually, the flash is going to be used as he gets away. Little visual bug on my end, but gets out.
Again, why? Mauer knows that this is like a 2v3, and he has no vision. And he walks on into the bush and just, immediately goes down, because you've seen 3 people atop, and now suddenly they're not there. Like, where have they gone, right? And so the second he walks into that bush, it all goes downhill. And then the same for Victoria, who knows he's 1v3.
Nice damage coming down, and it's going to be killing off Uzi mode. The Heathen stepping forward, supportal combat is in full effect. The Heathen needs to be careful, though, as Aftermath might actually have to run of this one. Doesn't have ultimate available yet, though. We'll have to flash away. Xenoblade follows through, and now Mauer wants to make this fight a little bit unfair. Will be able to secure the kill for himself as he dives over the wall. London United are in a controlling position right now.
Yeah, well, they are now. I was a bit confused before, but works out this time around as we see a bit of action down in the bottom lane. And yeah, that's kind of why the Jax does have the advantage in this matchup here. PC just puts on the counter-strike and just holds it out, and there is not a lot that can be done by their Wukong to trade back. So reliant is he on the damage coming out from his clone, and the counter-strike doing a lot to negate that. Now we have this dragon spawning up in 15 seconds, and though the bottom lanes haven't quite swapped back yet, there's still the strength in the Jax down here right now, and we even see that Mauer getting his recall cancelled there by Uzi mode should prove to be pretty important as we look towards this dragon spawn.
Rotel will drop bot to maybe cause a bit of pressure, maybe even take the tower down before this dragon goes. Not
he's got it.
Safe haven in the bot side, and that might be the signal to start up the objective. Jarvan and Morgana already there. Cuffs and Echo can move down, and while London United do have all 5 members in mid lane or below, as Misfortune runs up towards Raptors, don't know if they're going to be able to contest this one. It's not going to be done super slowly, and once again, Mythos just have the better play of the macro, the neutral objective at least, and are able to secure that second dragon.
Yeah, go ahead and nab that one. Now they get to play for the spooky third Drake, which is the one that you are kind of worried about. And this is not a Drake that was particularly protectable for the London side, because of what I was talking about earlier, right? You have the Misfortune, who's gone and grabbed her Essence Reaver, first item, and Lee Sin on Warrior as well. It's like, okay, cool, we can look to fight. We're strong right now. And then you look at the Caston, who's got...
Ultimate comes through from the Heathen. Now Mauer holding out and will look for the engage, will look for the kick, will get the kill on to the Carthus, and Aftermath will also go down short order. Double kill coming in for the Lee Sin as London pick up another 2. They catched them out in the river.
And just again, why are they there? Like, what's the point? I think that because they've got the mid prior, right? They've got the wave push, and it's like, we're safe because someone has to go for the wave. No, I take 2 kills over 6 creeps any day, and clearly London feel the same as they move on up towards the top lane now, try and get themselves some plates as Easy Mode and Myth now have to, Aftermath have to shamefully traipse their way back into the mid lane.
Have to come in and secure the tower plates. It's going to be falling off at about 1.5 minutes. Articuno knows that he needs to be a little bit careful, holding his ultimate so he can dodge out from the snare that he knew was coming, and is able to do so very, very easily. In the bot side, Wukong against Jax again. Victoria not feeling super confident, but will be feeling a little bit more confident with Lee Sin in the area. Counter-Strike runs out, but it's going to be a 2v2 flash from Jurgen Booster, forced by Mauer as well. With the ultimate coming through, the Requiem will secure the kill as Victoria looks to try and get a 1-for-1 trade out. This one will be able to get onto the Jax, but Aftermath is there to give the spell shield, to give the damage, and Victoria on the wrong side of the lane can only watch. But Articuno is coming in now. Grayson Jungler has to flash away, and now it's a 2v2, but the teleport coming in to try and make it unfair once again for Mythos. And Victoria and Articuno are able to move away. Teleport was cancelled in the end, and now Caston moving forward.
Yeah, the Heathen using that ultimate to stop Arti being able to join that fight means now that Articuno and Victoria can push it in a little bit further. Looks like they won't be able to go for anything else as Uzi Mode takes down those plates in the mid lane, and lovely bait there in that extended fight. Doku Booster knowing very well that he's got that Karthus ult coming on in and opts to take that fight. Uzi Mode though,
A little bit careful. Does take an ultimate from Misfortune, but Creation Jungler using Intimidation to make sure that she stops that after a couple of ticks. So Uzi does manage to survive and stay around the tower to try and defend it for the last couple of seconds as plates do fall off, and a lot of gold actually being denied here from London United as Mythos actually pretty successful in taking a lot of gold across the map.
yeah, and that was
Getting that blue buff though. Creation Jungler will get stunned up, damage coming through, and he will go down. Now Arisuka moving forward, catches out the Heathen but doesn't catch Mauer, and then the 2v1. Echo not feeling so confident. Articuno on the side, keeping Uzima and Aftermath at bay. As London United feeling confident to move into the jungle of Mythos here and just take pretty much whatever they want.
and again, like, just walk away, man. Like, you're not gonna win that. Because now moves on to the top side. Like I said, looking to take away whatever he wants, and what he wants might well be this also tower. Artisuka as well could be on the menu as the Karthus is now slowly moving on over, and V Morgana lurking in the wings. Duoki Booster being the one who picks up this drop was...
You know, another little bit of top v top. Victoria having a much better time this time around. The second tick of the ultimate might be enough as he secures the kill onto Jax. That's the first time we've seen that matchup go the way of Wukong. And if that's going to be the case for the rest of the game, London United might have just found their last winning matchup.
Victoria does have the sustain right now. You can see he's building up towards that death stance. And the same cannot be said for Duoki Booster, who's 2 behind right now to be able to take these sorts of trades.
Aftermath gets engaged on Mauer, looking for the kick. Won't be able to find it just yet as he's going to be looking towards Uzi Mode. Cataclysm has already been used, and the Carvers will probably get taken very, very low. The exhaust goes down though. Shutdown is the first as Echo gets that one. Articuno turns it 1-for-1, and now members of London United have to run away as Requiem will get them all below half health, except the Wukong. And London United able to move away. Actually, a 1-for-1 trade in the end. Looked like it was going to be decent play for London United, but Mythos able to turn it around.
Yeah, nice pick up there from Artisuka. So Kilby, Misfortune cancelling her ult, getting her flash as well. Very nice. As now the fight continues.
Kick has been used from Mauer for defensive purposes, but does manage to get himself and Caston away without anything else being burnt. Dragon's coming up pretty soon though, and once again, Mythos are in a decent position to try and contain or control this area. London United, though, maybe for the first time in this game, are going to have members not on the recall during this Dragon. So we'll be looking to try and contest Vision and maybe even just pick it up as Echo in base.
Yeah, this should have been pretty contestable for Mythos. They just got the cooldown from Lee Sin. He used his kick. They had the inside track. They were on a good pace to come up for this objective, and they end up just backing away and handing it over. And of course, taking the third Drake is so important because then you threaten the soul. It is only a mountain soul in this game, but still not something you really want to be giving away for free too much, especially when you're against that scaling threat. That is the Kassadin, but London are able to secure their dragon, and now we think towards the next objective. The Rift Herald should be spawning, I believe. We'll be seeing that one.
Rift Herald has actually already been taken up second time by Jarvan.
So it has.
They already have it.
Ah, okay. They're ahead of me on that one. All right, we've got Baron at some point, but yeah, if we look to the side lanes here, just look at the Jax, right? It's not even finished his Triforce yet compared to a completed Death Stance from Victorio. He's going for a very expensive first item, and he's picked up a Tiamat as well, and it means it's so dangerous for Joker Booster in this side lane now, and I don't know if he fully respects that. He also got solo killed for last time around, but he seems to be very confident in the matchup, and you can see it was close, even though he was 0-3, and now that he has Aftermath here, he's a bit happier to go for this fight, but whenever he doesn't have the Counter-Strike available, Victorio is ready.
And when the Wukong gets into those 1v1 situations, as you say, looked favourable the last time around. We'll have to see if they decide to go up against each other 1v1 again to see if they can repeat. Because a one-off is not a good experiment, as all of our scientific viewers will know. Have to do it a few times to make sure that your hypothesis is correct, and they're continuing just to send these top lanes up against each other over and over again, which, as you say, both seem confident in the matchup, both seem pretty happy to be doing so. Articuno and Artizuka again also being up against each other over and over across the map, and where do you think the biggest difference maker for London United has been this time around so far? Because obviously they have got a decent gold lead, 2.5k gold at the 18-minute mark. They have been looking better in the fights, and while they have been losing on objectives, things have started to look up. But I'll ask you again, once this fight is gone on in the bot lane, Joker Booster does have the counter strike, looking for the stun, will be able to land it. Now Wukong might be in trouble. Victoria gets the second pop of the ultimate, but it might not be enough to keep him alive. He's going to have to flash away, but still goes down. Requiem will be used, and it will be wasted by Karthus, as he just gets a little bit of tick damage across the board, because Jax had already got the kill.
Yeah, Duoki Booster coming back to lane with that Triforce, now giving him the edge in that lane, able to pick up the kill there. Kong dying to his own Death Dance, and now a bit of action up top, perhaps, as Articuno gets traded on Mauer.
Mauer jumps in, looking for the kick potentially, but the spell shield is going to doing so. The exhaust comes through as well as the sun comes down from Misfortune. The ultimate from Misfortune will be doing enough, and Uzi now burning down with the ignite. Manages to sneak away though as Grayson Jungler moves into the fray, trying to get onto Articuno. Won't be able to get the kill as the caster gets away of health. Joker Booster's not interested in being involved in the fight though. But London United again take a big team fight win.
And that was something I really wanted to talk about, was the Locket first item from the Heathen. Because it gives an insane amount of magic resist. 60 magic resist, you wouldn't think it, but it's so valuable when you're playing against this essentially 4 AP threat team. And then also, it gives you the burst shield when the Karthus wants to go for an ult, or the Jarvan wants to go in. You see it there, Jarvan goes in, he goes so hard for the kill, just boop, Locket shield, denies that one, keeps Articuno alive, and they're able to pick up the kill of the Creation Jungler. So again, I really like that pickup, and we can also see now the Hex Drinker being completed by Kumkum as well. Very difficult times to be a Mythos player.
You know what I was like in Champ Select? I can see Mauer kind of being a little bit missing in this game on this Lee Sin.
Yeah,
he's 7-2
you were missing a little bit on that one.
He's been involved in 75% of the kills from his team so far, and has been running the show in the jungle. Definitely being the more successful of the two so far, over Creation Jungler, who has yet to find himself a kill in this game. And honestly, London United have just seemed very on form. Of course, there have been questions, and I've heard some questioning statements from you about their play this game at certain situations. But right now, in this 34th matchup, London United definitely seem to be the stronger of the two.
Yeah, they seem to be looking real nice here, but let's not forget the scaling options that are available to Mythos. They have this Jax, who, as we've seen, even though he was 0-4, is still able to pick up solo kills in his side lane. The Karthus scaling up nicely as well. However, Cassidy always going to be a threat in that side lane for Mythos to sign. They need to be aware of. This game is a bit of a toss-up as we start to get towards the later stage on just who has the advantage, and something that I want to bring up that's really not that relevant, but I'm interested in the reasoning here, is that Duoki Booster picked up a very early Tiamat, and I thought this is a bit cringe, because... Oh, after my buddy, I'm trying to... come on. Okay. Thought that, you know, this is going to take away his ability to be able to freeze and get any sort of advantage over the Wukong, right? But then I realized that it's actually maybe broken, because if ever Wukong uses his W, you auto the clone, the Tiamat AoE shows you that he just went invisible and even what direction he went. So I really don't know if this was an intentional pickup by Duoki Booster, but...
Well, that's a bit strange. Those team fights breaking up. Articuno's already taken out the Morgana at the beginning of the frame. The ultimate coming down into the Cataclysm of Mythos. Kumkum has to flash over the wall though, and so much damage is being done on both sides. Uzi goes down, triple kill for Articuno. He's still looking to get the Requiem down, which would be enough to kill Victoria if he hadn't already have gone down, and won't be enough to secure the kills onto anyone else, because once again, the Heathen has that locket and will be able to keep low members alive. Artie's pretty healthy and might want to look to contest this dragon, but in the end, decides he might actually want to recall instead. It's going to go very down very quickly as London pick up their second Mountain Dragon of the game, but so much damage coming out of this London roster.
Yeah, and you think that this would be a rough engage for the London side. They're going in onto the Morgana. She can Black Shield herself, pop that stopwatch as well, and just completely eviscerate the London side with a 5-man stun, which just goes down so quickly, isn't able to pull off any of that. And then lovely CC chaining coming through from Victoria and the Heathen with that locket as well, as you said, really keeping everyone alive. And now we've got a triple kill onto the Caston, and we were talking about, who's actually going to scale here. Is the Caston outscaling going to be enough to beat the Cuffs and the Jackson? Well, one of them just got a triple kill, so I think that's looking pretty good for Articuno right about now.
How sad would you be if you're the Caston, you've gone down in the fight, but you're like, cool, there are members alone. I've got my ultimate up, I'm going to channel it down, it's going to be great, no one can stop me. And then you just look and it's a Lee Sin, Leona with a blooming shield on the locket, and a Caston who's got shield on his cheek.
Did you ever see the anti-Karthus Kindred build?
No.
I don't really know how actually legit it was, but there was a build people would do a Kindred with Redemption and Locket, and the aim was, champion's so useless that I'll just play purely for the ult. This is when Kindred was in a significantly more useless state than she currently is. And so we'll get in a team fight, and then I'll ult, and then I'll lock it, and then I'll Redemption, and the Redemption will finish as I ult, and like the health swing that all those support items is going to bring is probably more than the damage that the the Kindred would have done. And this could be a little bit reminiscent of that there for Uzi mode right now. And this is what happens when you draft 4 AP like this and you get a locket first item.
Yeah, it's just completely negating so much of the damage. Articuno might have been called out, that has to use his ultimate to get away, and Ashley still might be in trouble, looking to turn a bit of damage around. Now Ashley using his ultimate to go forward as Kum turns up. His team is in the wings. The ultimate comes through the rewind, but it's not the rewind you want, as Mara's going to be able to secure the first kill of the fight. It's even marshalling pressure juggler away. Ashley looking to land the center plate and land the stuns. In the bot side, we've got a standard Wukong versus Jack's nonsense, as Mara now looking forward, looking to try and get a catch, but Lasagna will deny it as he will get stunned up. The flash will not be enough to get him out of range, and now Kum versus Creation jungler. Jarvan doesn't win that fight against Misfortune at this stage, and Aftermath will be going down. Nice build to actually keeps him alive alongside the exhaust. And members of Mythos, I don't know what luck they've had in that last play, but most of them get out alive. And actually, a big stun's going to stop Wukong from turning up to the fight. And now Victoria, his stream was elsewhere, has the ult to try and get away. Might not be able to do so, though. It's going to be Booster chasing on. Articuno stepping forward with just fight on fight on fight. As Cataclysm goes down, so does the ultimate from Leona. And the kill comes down for the Caston once again. Baron actually not taking very much damage as it was just started up. So London United will be happy with the kills that they gained, and they're going to move away.
I said, this locket is powerful, but Requiem is still available, and that is something that's going to make this Baron very difficult for London to attain. Looks like they recognize that one. They're going to go ahead and back off. And pretty long and extended situation there, but ultimately that one's coming out in London's favor. However, they do, of course, lose that teleport in the bottom lane, and this means that Jerky Booster is going to have an even better time there in the 1v1. And Jerky Booster winning this 1v1 could be important moving forward, because with Wukong and with Caston, there are two options there that are pretty decent in the side lanes. And while Articuno obviously is going to love being in those team fights with the squishies, and Wukong is going to love being in those team fights with his ultimate knocking everyone up, the 1-3-1 that is pretty strong from Mythos, there are answers from London if they choose to match it man for man. Both sides have someone that's winning, right? Mythos have the Jax who's winning, and obviously Articuno being the victor there. For London now, Jax has now finished up that Death Stance, so accelerated his build just a little bit there. Even though it's 1-5-1, it's crazy that we're talking about how strong Jax is right now, but he's got two very expensive items picked up in that top lane position. And now the Drake coming up in about 30 seconds. There's a lot of pressure being applied here by the Jax in the bottom lane, but similarly up topside, Caston is doing the same. Now Articuno does not have his teleport available, won't be able to join this fight. However, Asasuka won't either, and the Caston having the advantage in the 1v1 we can see that Artie is actually just going to walk his way down to this fight and leave Caston to try for that tower.
Caston actually moving into the jungle, might be looking to get involved in this team fight as well, but if it's kicked off soon, he won't be there in time for the first few abilities. Mauer looking towards the side, looking to catch out Ardasuka, but he doesn't know he's there, and that's the shield. Kungum already had to use the cleanse. The ultimate coming through for damage from the Echo as he jumps on the back of the pit, but will be caught out by the Wukong ultimate once again. And in fact, Echo's going to be the first victim of the fight as Wukong and Kum chase him away and chase him down. Members of Mythos without their mid lane are actually feeling a little bit scared, but Jugabusta might be able to get the better of the Lee Sin. Even not going to be able to land the Zenith blade, but Artico has now arrived, is looking to get damage down. Morgana will fall, but the ultimate and the sacrifice will be enough to keep everyone else alive from Mythos. With 2 members gone, looks like London are going to be able to pick up their 3rd dragon of the game and set up for Soul Drake in 5 minutes time.
And try playing into a 4 Mountain Drake team. That is pretty difficult. It doesn't matter how far ahead you are in the side lane. You are going to struggle.
Well, that comes down from Leo. Articuno follows up, and Victoria is there just to make sure that Jackson's nowhere to go. He's jumped on the Cuckoo trying to get a kill for himself. But in a 5v1 situation, I don't care how much farm you've got, Jax. You're never picking that one up.
Yeah, not going to be having a good time there. And so much magic resist has been built by this London side, as it should be. No adaptive helms being picked up quite just yet, but we have got the double Hex Drinker, and we've got the Spirit Visage as well coming through from Mauer. And then you throw 4 Mountain Drakes on top of that. This is not a balanced amount of magic resist to have. And we can see the 2 Void Staffs have already been forced to be picked up there. You know, Uzuma doesn't even have his Liandry finished because, yeah, everyone just has to spend so much money just on getting Void Staffs here to try and negate what they can from this London side.
And so far, the negation doesn't look like it's been too effective in these fights because, yes, a lot of pressure is being put on Kum in these fights, but with the cleanse and with the support from Leona and from the Lee Sin as well, who's been doing an excellent job at peeling away for the marksman, you're not even capable of bringing down this squishy member who has a Hex Drinker, but not much else defensive. And you look at members like the Lee Sin, you look at members like the Leona especially, there's no way that you're bringing this character down.
Yes, and Articuno is level 16 with our Rabadons, just to throw that one out there.
Cool. Cool stuff.
That's a little bit of Kassadin gameplay that we're about to see. Joker Booster only on 2k health. Puny amount.
Damage, but actually the fight's going pretty well for Joker Booster so far. Articuno actually forced the back away from the Jax, and you said it before, Jax's scoreline might not be that impressive, but with that farm lead and with the items in his pocket, he's still going to be a threat.
Yeah, but Articuno is about to one-bang him, I do believe. Oh, never mind. He turns around. He did not keep his ultimate passive stacked. I feel like if he had, now that the ultimate has been blown by the Jax, probably would have had a pretty good time just jumping straight in on top of him.
I'm looking straight on for what else is going to be great. Jungler damage coming through is so disgusting as he picks up the kill. Aftermath uses special for himself to stop even getting another engage, but it's Uzi that they actually want. Articuno guesses wrong, but will be able to get a double kill nonetheless. Double rooted, double towers coming through, as well as the Requiem will fly down, but Articuno picks up the triple, won't be phased by the Requiem at all. And now Joker Booster looking for the flank, but will be only flanking.
He wants the members
of London. Artie's there as well, though, so this could well be a team fight. Joker Booster will only be able to get the stun off onto the Leona. It's not going to be able to keep him alive. The ultimate comes through from Misfortune. She hadn't even needed to use it as Asuka jumps back in time. Is like, no, do you know what? I've seen this one before. So as he backs away, and Articuno, he can just use the ultimate as much as he wants. It doesn't matter. They're now moving towards Baron, and London United must feel good about their position here.
Oh, not quite getting the Penta there. Unofficial Quadra handed over to Articuno, and like you said, they move on to the Baron because, yeah, that's just Death Cap 3rd item, level 16 Kassadin. Pretty happy with his current situation.
Yeah, you would be, honestly. And in fact, London are going to be pretty happy with the situation because with this Baron buff, you've got to imagine that the one area of play where London have struggled a little bit so far this game has been taking towers, because they have the tower lead now, but for a long time it was all about Mythos macro, especially in the early stages. With this Baron, this will give the opportunity for London to turn these big team fight wins into big objective gains.
I mean, they're a pretty good spot. They're able to now, like you say, start to push through and get these objectives. And yeah, even if the Mythos were the better team at doing it early on, which is quite a skill in of itself to have that, you know, early tempo and early control. At some point, you get so ahead that you can just start to force these things. Now 10k up for the side of London. Pretty happy to basically 5-man it down mid.
And you can't blame them. They know that they win out in these team fights. They've got big boy Articuno in the mid lane, just ulting for movement, just stacking that up, and look at the damage already going on to Creation Jungler. Mao wants to jump in and secures the kill for himself, making sure that Articuno can get no kind of pentakill as he jumps forward to get his first to find how to go golden to keep Sujin off his back. Articuno actually got pretty low, but looking at the damage that he can do, double kill comes in from Mao. As London United chase away the remnants, Artisuka jumps in trying to get assassinations, but not going to be able to do so. Doesn't get a single member of London United down, as all 5 are still alive. Victorio looking up from top lane like, yeah, this is fine.
He's vibing.
I'm split pushing, this is whatever. But it looks like London United are going to crack the base, crack the Nexus, and win this game.
Very convincing fashion as well. Like I said, there was a bit of a hesitant start, and there were some moments that I took issue with. But at the end of the day, they've got... Oh, Articuno should have ran it down 2 times. He went 13-1-7. Not quite the 13-3-7 scoreline that we all know and love, but he was not elite gamer. But he is a gamer with a dub. So now picking that up, turn that into a 4-4 record, I do believe. 4-3? No, 4-4, I think, is the amount that you have to have to be vibing in that 3rd place spot. And I'm going to go ahead and check if they actually put themselves in a playoff spot.
Well, while I do the maths, MVP. Very cool. I've got a controversial shout for MVP. I want to hear who you have to say first, because I feel like you're going to be wrong on this.
I want to say the Heathen.
Oh, no, that was what I was going to say. Now you just made it stupid. Like, honestly, it's hard to look past Articuno and even Mauer with those excellent kill positions. Mauer in the early game played so well, and Articuno in the late game was casted in. But the Heathen made really smart decisions, and in every team fight, the Heathen was getting big engages, getting big stuns, and keeping members alive who needed to do the damage.
Yeah, so the Heathen had some really good moments with how he was using his abilities in general, right? Earlier on, we could see the ways that he was, baiting things with his Q, right? That you do have the option to go in and just not use your Q into a Black Shield and just not use it into a Jack Spin, just wait. And those actually ended up getting some very pivotal kills for the team. He also getting some guys cancels with his ultimate here and there on the TPs, things like that. And obviously the Locket did so much work. The reason I don't want to say Articuno is because, yes, he had that really good time once he hit level 16 casting, and he did a great job of getting to that stage. But there were moments in the lane where I looked at the lane, I was like, hang on, you should be winning this substantially in the trades. And every time we look, he's actually in a very bad spot. I think he even, got that, he got solo killed, right? The time that he cancelled Artsuka's teleport and then ends up dying somehow for it. I was like, hang on, buddy, all you had to... Yeah, okay, yeah, so now it feels toxic to go in on his one death. But, how does this happen? You just press Q and walk away. But, yeah, I think that he even stepped up in a... Okay, Articuno has a very impressive score, but they were all sort of the team's kind of already winning moments. And yes, obviously he made the game very easy for his team from that stage, but I think in terms of he had a lot of quantity of moments, right? But I think the quality and what made the pivotal moments was coming from the Heathen.
Yeah, so congratulations on the Heathen for getting MVP. Turns out you need a few more than 13 kills to grab MVP. Articuno, that's a challenge for you for next week. But ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because we have the 3rd v 4th game all about 1st v 2nd. We'll see you in a few minutes.